Hi, guys. Hi, I'm Dan Nikolaides. I'm the CTO of Studio 369, and I'm joined by John Cooper, our design director.
Hello.
And we're here today to show you a sneak peek at the new game that we've been working on, which we call Metalcore. But first, let me give you a little bit of a background on myself. So I've been making games for over 15 years now, and when I first started in this industry, I was really inspired by these types of games that really brought thousands of players together from around the world and gave them opportunities to create communities, gave them opportunities to cooperate. Games like World of Warcraft, PlanetSide 2, these games seem to have so many possibilities, not just because of their huge scope, but because of the communities that they were able to create. And I've always wanted to work on a game like this, but increasingly, as time has gone by, it's becoming very difficult to make a business case for this type of game. So nowadays, the only type of game like this that gets financed is a free-to-play design. And free-to-play basically means a game whose design artificially restricts players' progression in order to cause pain points and frustration and entice players to spend money, give money to basically the central authority, the game developer, us, right? For digital items or experience, stuff that doesn't really have any inherent value, right? They're spending hundreds of dollars on items that they don't truly own, that they can't sell or trade in many cases. And that paradigm just never really sat well with me. But now we can actually do something about it. So by building a solid core economy and putting it in the hands of the players, we can provide a properly balanced free-to-play design. And what do I mean by properly balanced free-to-play design? It's a design in which players who wish to accelerate their progress via spending can be properly balanced out by players who wish to earn via playing. So how do we do this? Well, we will build a core set of blockchain technologies, NFTs, smart contracts, and we will create several different game layers that sit on top of this. So we're not building a traditional monolithic MMO. So traditional MMO would be a game that is massive in scope, but usually fairly limited in terms of its genre and the way it plays, appealing to a very specific set of players. Those types of games are usually very costly to develop and time-consuming to develop and costly to operate. Instead, we're building a game metaverse. So what does that mean? Well, we're not building one type of game that appeals to everybody. Instead, we're building a universe built on top of a shared blockchain infrastructure. And we're building targeted, focused, and well-composed game experiences, one for hopefully every type of player out there. So as you can see here, our idea is we'll have something for everyone. We'll be starting off with a first-person vehicle shooter, real-time action combat 50v50 multiplayer. But we want to expand that as much as we can in the future. So we're game developers first and foremost. We want to develop fun games that appeal to gamers and crypto enthusiasts, and we want to get players into blockchain gaming with as little of a barrier of entry as possible. And I'll talk about that more later in the talk, but right now I'll pass things off to John Cooper to give you a little bit more info about the first entry in our Metalverse.
Hello, I'm John. I am the design director at Studio 369, and I'm responsible for crafting the player experience and gameplay for Metalcore. Let's take a first look at the universe of Metalcore. That looks pretty rad. So we've got massive real-time combined arms battles, armored fighting vehicles, aircraft, and of course, the gods of the battlefields, the mechs. And each one of these vehicles is an NFT that can be purchased by players using our in-game fabricators, powered by our utility token, FAB, or the FAB token. The more you play, the more of our utility token you earn. Players will use the FAB to build new NFT vehicles in the fabricators and upgrade their forces and their territories. These vehicles can be piloted by the owners, rented out to skilled players for a cut of the tokens earned in battle. So just by holding the NFT, you can earn too. It's fight, earn, and burn. So our three-player factions, the Metal Punks, Gear Breakers, and Holy Corporation, are in a perpetual fight for dominance. This is the harsh future of Metalcore, and this is the faction war. There hasn't been a new large-scale territory gain in the vein of PlanetSide 2 for years. We want to fill that space to bring back the experience of a large, real-time, first-person vehicle combat and strategic control game. Here, we missed a slide. Here we see part of the faction war map. Most of the time, you may be teamed up with small groups of allies in our open world, cooperatively clobbering some AI enemies, and fighting small skirmishes against enemy players in real-time action combat. Occasionally, you may run into instanced active battle zones. This is an opportunity to take part in the faction war in large 50v50 PvP matches between the factions to determine who gets to control these zones. The players are the steel countesses and metal barons that have struck out into these unclaimed lands. Players will own these lands and collect revenue from them to build their machines of war. They'll be able to set up their own guilds and provide their mechs for use to other players, or to lead their guilds directly from the cockpits of their own mechs. Here we see some examples of NFTs, the pilots and the vehicles. The pilots are assigned to vehicles, and they provide a bonus based upon their skills and their factions. They will increase in skills the more they're used, and they will act as gunners, engineers, or co-pilots in your vehicles. Next to them, we have the NFT vehicles, examples of light and medium mechs that dominate the fight in the faction wars, and armored fighting vehicles to provide support to any offensive. And finally, airships. A well-utilized air force can turn the tide of any battle. There are also NFT lands and blueprints. Lands grant owners a income and a vote in the governance council, while the blueprints allow owners to create new mechs from that blueprint or rent the blueprint out to other players to use as well. Thank you.
So these vehicle NFTs are a must to play the game, but how do you get them? So we have an innovative system that allows us to build a robust and lasting economy. So we're going to allow crafting and merging of our vehicle NFTs. So while there's a steady flow of new units that come in from players playing the game, earning our utility token, finding component pieces, and crafting new vehicles, there will also be a method to pull back on the supply of vehicles, giving us the many more tools that we need to regulate our economy. We also have a fully integrated guild system, which John touched on, which we call the barony system. So when you pledge to a baron, you'll be able to use the vehicles that they have in their garage, and you'll earn a small percentage of the tokens and bequeath a large percentage of them to the owner of the vehicle. So this will still allow players who can't afford to jump into owning one of the more expensive vehicles to get a taste of how it feels to play in one of the massive, extremely rare mechs. And if they're skillful, potentially find a permanent place in a barony that can employ their skills. So let me talk for a little bit about the various ways you can earn money by playing in our metaverse. So you can earn a steady income of our FAB token by playing in our open world with friends and fighting AI or enemy groups of players in small skirmishes. Or you can join an instanced battle zone to take part in a much larger 50v50 faction war if you have the skill. Play as a real estate mogul. So you could earn a land, you can develop that land, and you can earn tokens for every player who plays on that land. Play as a baron and rent out your vehicles to worthy pilots in exchange for the lion's share of the winnings. Or play as a faction general and lead your faction to victory in the faction war, earning a large share of the weekly bounties that each faction earns. And of course, anything that you win, craft, or earn in-game can be transferred out and sold on Uniswap or OpenSea. So we also want to make it easy for people to get into our game. We want to appeal to crypto enthusiasts and collectors, but also core gamers who just want to play a fun game. So we're pleased to announce today that you'll be able to join in and play our game without ever connecting a crypto wallet. And you only need to do that when you want to get into that part of it and withdraw your earnings. So talk a little bit about the team that we built to work on this amazing project. We've got a really talented art, dev, and blockchain team to work on this. All of us have decades of experience in developing projects within our domains of expertise. And we've come together to make something that I believe is really, truly special for you guys. I want to highlight our lead concept artist, Stefan Martinier. He's a Hugo Award winner for Best Professional Artist. It's a really prestigious sci-fi award that I've read so many Hugo Award-winning books, and I'm really thrilled to have him on. But he's also contributed card art to Magic the Gathering, and he's a former creative director at id Software, working on titles like Doom and Rage. And our game dev studio, Studio 369, of which I'm the CTO, we are comprised of veteran game developers who have worked on franchises like Gears of War, Mech Warrior, and Mortal Kombat. And we've brought together a really skilled blockchain team to help make this happen. The team has experience in lots of really high-profile projects like Umbrella Network, Blockchain.com, Lucidity, and AdChain. So where do we go from here? Well, we're having our first NFT sale in January. Every attendee at NFT.NYC in their virtual swag bag will get a lottery ticket to enter our whitelist for the pre-sale. And you guys won't need to wait years to play our game. We're having a private alpha for select NFT holders in April of 2022. We're really thrilled to be able to bring our love of gaming and game development to this exciting emergent technology, and we can't wait to show you what we have in store for you. So please visit our website, metalcoregame.com, and join our Discord, Metalcore NFT, to learn more. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to it. Anybody have any questions? Does anybody have a question? Somebody's got it.
Yeah,
let's take one question. Somebody's like, what do I ask?
So, great question. Our first game is going to be a hardcore PC title, but we want to provide ways for everybody to play, not just in terms of the capability of their hardware, but in terms of what they're interested in. So in the future, we will have a mobile game, we will have a web game, we will have different ways to play for people who don't want to play hardcore PC games. Yeah. So we'll be releasing our white paper that details all of that stuff probably before the end of the year. So late November, early December, you'll be seeing that on our website.
All right, one more quick one. I think somebody right here.
Yeah, can you repeat that, please? Automated scripting? Oh, bots. Okay, so, okay. No, so we want to provide avenues for players who are not really interested in real-time PvP to still utilize the NFTs that they have. So we don't want to incentivize bot use. But we are building a system that will detect cheaters and stuff like that. We don't want to encourage that in our game because we want to appeal to real hardcore game players. So,
right on. All right, thank you. Give it up again.